You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hack.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail.
Mathematical ratio. Some bitches is predetermined to get fellatio, while others
Hey, turn this shit up right now. Turn it up.
But most niggas can't add, cause the
My nigga Che.
educational system is ass, so decisions is trash. See, the code is designed to have haves and have nots, and for the have nots to believe has lies.
Is that the highest it goes? Bang this shit right now.
Grabbing for a fraction of the action while the halves keep fracking. You can't blame them, no. Their design is intelligent. And I ain't talking about no heaven shit. So if you blame anybody, then blame the programmers. We just an alien ant farm.
It's Monday! The So What Morning Show back in the building. Hey, this weekend was turned up. The first annual Plantation Celebration Awards, a.k.a. the Coon Train Awards, went down. I gotta shout the brother out. Tariq is a cold piece of work, man. He had comedians in between, like intervals of comedy in between the award presentations. Coon of the Year award. There was a lot of coons that we had to let off the hook because, the categories were so evenly matched. You can't have Raven Simone and Stacey Dash in the same category. I felt like winners were losing. It was hard for me to award one over the other. I just found them equally matched. It was an incredible show. And what I like about it was there was commentary. So, yes, it was funny. It was a satirization of an award show. Mm-hmm. But there was deep conversation in between the jokes and the laughter. It was dope. I appreciate the brother for including me in it.
Did he film it?
Oh, it was filmed. We actually streamed it live, or he streamed it live, but the audio was really bad. But he's going to upload a clean version of it in terms of the audio. You'll be able to see the entire hour and 20-minute show. I'm impressed with the brother. He did good work. He did good work. So, yo, you know what we do, the So What Morning Show, live on T Radio V. That's Radio NTV. And as is commonplace, we have to support black businesses. Even Dr. G is supporting black businesses. See that little bag? It says Dr. G on it.
I put more money into your community than you do.
Damn! Y'all gonna let this man sit on here and talk shit?
That was a challenge.
That was a challenge. Challenge. Dr. G actually purchased this candy from the sister that I always promote here. I never knew the shit was going to be like this. Yeah. I just been eating this shit for years, not really giving a fuck about my teeth or whatever, but it's really incredible.
Oh my
it's
God.
Not a game.
It's not.
Please continue to support the sister. Go to Shepherd's Sweets. You got the website. Pull it up right now. That's a sweet potato cake.
Yeah, that's.
When I tell you that sweet potato cake is, some type of Philly cream cheese
my
icing.
birthday just came up. I can get you.
You trying to hustle? Stop it. You better. What kind of bullshit is this? What kind of I got the hookup birthday love? Anyway, please continue to support the sisters movement. ShepherdsSweets.com is the website. Go there now. Dr. G just introduced a concept to me. I coined it, but he came with the definition before it had a name. And he was talking about how the Jewish community, they get together and they say, they look at what they make. We're going to give 5 or 10% of what I make as an individual for the maintenance of Israel. I said, community tithing? Fuck. This is why I support black businesses. Yo, Ramo Mart. Ramo Mart NY. That's what I'm wearing right now. Protected by Montu, the wings of Horus. The king rode out in war with the wings of Horus covering him. Of course, when the king did it, it was gold. As a matter of fact, don't scroll down. I want you to click on men's. Right? Just click on men's. Don't click on t-shirts. Just click on men. Just click on men. That's it? Or click on t-shirt then. I did. Right? The brothers stuff. That's
off the chain.
That's Taharka.
Yes,
right?
That is off the chain.
That's the Nubian king.
Ooh, that is off the chain.
King Shabaka.
Oh, no, he don't right there.
Yes.
Oh, no, he don't.
Yes.
No, he don't.
King Pianki. The brothers' shirts are incredible. Get there now. I just told him to adjust his prices, and he did so. Right? Brother shit is dope. Right? Go support the brother right now. He's open for business. I've been coaching him to become a better businessman, to become a better customer service guy, to be available. I know he's artsy fartsy. You know, them art dudes be,
Not about
you
business.
know, they're not really business savvy because they're about the art.
That's right.
But I've been coaching him. Y'all go support the brothers. Hey, pull up my Indiegogo page. I'm really disappointed about the Indiegogo page because, shit, we're 13, 14, maybe 15 days in, and it's moving really, really slow.
Slow.
But before I really talk shit, let me just say there's 41 people who have already donated
God bless you.
and got us to close to $1,600.
Big ups.
All right.
I got to send you love for that. Thank you. Look, slow down. 42 backers. 42 backers. There's a couple of comments. We're at 1525 in 15 days. I have to be honest, guys. That's too slow.
That's Andy Slogo. We need to.
That's Indie Slogo. If we're going to get this second book, The Holographic Relationship, to follow the relationship dismount, I'm telling you, the holographic relationship. Can I just give you a little insight on the holographic relationship?
Can I speak? Because
I knew
something's
you-
on my heart.
You just got here.
Something's on my heart.
You gonna cut in line?
Yes. The
Okay.
Lord speaks through a fool.
Okay.
Those of you who tithe, those of you who continue to
We
put
just did it.
10% in
Yeah,
church,
yeah.
how about investing in a new book? Here's a book that was just written in the days of refrigeration and cell phones and cars and shit. Here's a relevant book that you can actually contribute to that just may make a difference. How about that?
Wow.
All right,
Thank
okay.
you, brother. I appreciate
It
that.
just upsets me that,
We got to do it.
that we got
Dr. G just spoke on my Periscope and said that the Jewish community collectively and individually says, hey, this is what I make. I'm going to give 5 to 10% to maintain Israel.
Wow.
He just said, why don't black people do
Wow.
that? And I said, damn, that's community tithing.
Because they've never been, the Jews have never been disconnected from Israel.
How about it?
They see Israel as a place
But-
that belongs to them.
But, Jeff, we got enough information now that we cannot feign lack of knowledge. You might not have studied it, but that don't mean it ain't available, and that don't mean somebody ain't out there teaching it.
Well, I'm going to tell you in the words of my grandfather, just because you're wet don't mean you ain't thirsty.
Ooh.
It's on you. It just ain't in you.
Oh, shit.
That's Willie Howard. I can't even.
Willie Howard!
That's Willie Howard. That's my granddad.
Damn!
This is happening, Bill. Just because you wet don't mean you ain't thirsty.
Freedom Paper. Get to Freedom Paper right now.
That's right.
This black-owned business sells toiletries. He doesn't call it toilet paper. He calls it bathroom paper.
Bathroom paper?
No, it's not toilet paper. It's bathroom paper.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with what he said. Go support Freedom Paper Company right now.
Done.
We juice! Stop playing games. We juice. Oh, it's too expensive. You're not saying that to Louis Vuitton or Jordan.
It's not as expensive as chemo.
It surely isn't. Right. It's not as expensive as cancer
That's
treatment.
real shit right
How about
there.
it?
It's not as expensive
Go
as
support
chemo.
Weed Juice. This brother will ship it out to you freshly packed and get on the program.
Yes.
And make Weed Juice a part of your regimen.
Yes.
How about it? Water and Weed Juice, and see, don't you drop some fat.
Some ass.
Some ass, right? Weed Juice in the building. Mind-blowing apps. This sister created my app, okay? This sister created my app, and if you're a black-owned business, if you're Weed Juice, if you're Freedom Paper Company, imagine if you had a Weed Juice app. Imagine if Freedom Paper Company had an app to promote its bathroom tissues and toiletries. People could get it instantaneous right there, because an app is a store that lives on people's phones.
What if you could get toilet paper faster than you could wipe your ass?
How about it?
Wow.
Wow. Wipe your ass before you need to. You could do that with an app.
You think Google can come up with a self-wiping ass?
You are just
There
on
you
the
go.
grassy
There
knoll
you go.
with your rifle looking for jokes. Just the joke sniper. Just the joke sniper. The joke run across the road. I got him.
Okay.
Hey, Easy Boy Web, they did my website. The sister did my app. Black-owned business out of Atlanta, Easy Boy Web. Landon Williams is his name. Stand-up, 100% truthful, real dude. Does the work, turns it around, gets you in business ASAP. Easy Boy Web. The sister's name is Wanda Trotter for Mind-Blowing Mobiles. Right? Mobile app. Get with her today. These are Dr. G's. He paid for those.
I was just passing them.
Yeah,
No,
you're a liar.
No, put them back in the bag. No, I'm
Here's your bag, Dr. G.
I'm half in the bag.
There you go. G is like, I'm not sharing none of this shit. You believe that.
I see that.
So,
Yeah.
what about with all your mobile stuff? Why, just like the Jews went to Israel right after World War II, why don't blacks go on the internet and find a place?
Wow.
So like it could be Black Internet Matters, like all matters related to blacks.
Wow.
And you become the CEO. Black Internet Matters, and it's a place in the internet.
Wow.
Just like Israel is a place in the desert, and you could be the leader of that. I'm not kidding.
Hey, I could smoke a whole bag of that. And I'm with it. And I'm down for anybody that's
Black
down to
Internet
support it.
Matters.
Black Internet Matters. Somebody,
Bam.
let's get that website domain locked
Bam.
in right now. Let's do it. I'm with it. Somebody just donated $10. You know what? I'm gonna leave this website up,
See what's happening.
and I'm gonna see what we doing throughout the show.
On some
This
Jerry Lewis with the retarded kids. type
Exactly,
shit.
man. This is a fundraiser. Let's get serious. Let's get busy. This is a book that Bobby Glanton-Smith wrote for another baller G
Oh my God.
Wow.
man, Leon T. Garr, The Millionaire Chronicles. Let's go to work. A 96-year-old's remarkable journey from builder to banker.
He's 102 now.
He's 102 now.
That's awesome.
So that
Bobby
means,
G wrote this book. Bobby, can they get this?
Yeah, they can get it.
Where do they
means-
get this?
Just go to my website, www.realmendon'tplay.com.
he's
RealMenDon'tPlay.com.
102.
Yeah.
That
Right.
means he was balling before the NBA.
Seriously.
Yes.
No, he
Call to action. This is a call to action. Go to Indiegogo.com. Zoe Williams' new book, The Holographic Relationship. If you want the follow-up to the relationship dismount, you got to go to Indiegogo right now and support the movement today. Right now, don't delay, don't play, go get it done. The relationship dismount is available too. IamZoeWilliams.com. That's my website. IamZoeWilliams.com. If you want a copy mailed out today, buy it right now. IamZoeWilliams.com. Also, you've got Dr. G's books. Talking to Crazy, Just Listen. This is just one of, or two of many books he has. My favorite is How to Get Out of Your Own Way. That book
It's a beast.
is that is a wild monkey with no restraints. You hear me? That's Kong pop locking on cocaine. He out there with that one. That shit
pop-locking
is
on
for real. I'm telling you, that
my
shit
God.
is real.
Getting in
all
my
right?
car.
All right, listen, don't play. Do it right now. Every little bit counts. I need your support. Go there right now. We're going to be checking in on the Indiegogo page as well. Go support this book today. Everything has been promoted. Everything has been supported. I'm taking a quick break, but when we come back, topics. Don't play yourself. Zo What Mornings, T Radio V.
King Kong on crack.
Pop lock.
They can't help it, it's their fate we gotta suffer through. Listen to them spitting bullshit and rhythms, blatant cadence, self-defense mechanisms say we hating wrong. I'm just a flaw in the system.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Hey geeks, wake up! We've got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poorer care of yourself. If you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send or coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind.
It was between that one and this one.
So today's topic is community tithing.
It's not community tithing, it's healing.
It's healing. Today's topic is healing. And a big part of healing is forgiveness. And you know what I've noticed? Tell me if you think this is true. Show me someone who is unforgiving, and I'll show you someone who is incapable of apologizing.
How about that? How about that?
Think the unforgiving people in your life and think of if you've ever heard them sincerely apologize. Now, what's the whole purpose of forgiving anyway?
Oh, no, you tell me. I've never noticed your hair before today. Forgiveness.
You better save
Shaquanda Lisa, the spirit of Shaquanda Lisa has possessed Geoff now.
So here's the high cost of not forgiving someone. When you don't forgive someone, what happens is you'll feel relief when they die, and then afterwards, if the person wasn't evil, if the person was just merely flawed like all of us, after you feel that relief, you're going to feel, and I've seen this as a shrink, you're going to feel sadness and a waste. It was an incredible waste for you and that person to be so unforgiving with each other, and you can live your whole lifetime just wanting them to die so you can feel relieved. So here's an assignment for all of you people, and then maybe you can tweet back how it worked. Reach out to people that you think there's a wall between you that you would like to go away, as opposed to you holding on to it through your self-righteousness. You go up to them, and what you say to them is you could say, what is it here's exactly what you say. What is it that you are holding on to against me that you could let go of? If I could say what to you? What is it that you're holding against me that you could let go of if I could say what to you? And a lot of times what it comes down to is, well, you don't even remember that you did A, B, and C, or you failed to do such and such. And I just need you to say I'm sorry. And why I'm sorry is so powerful, if you feel it, is it allows people, good people, who really don't want to hold on to a grudge, to let go of it. I remember speaking with some families, and I remember what one couple said to one spouse said to the other, said, "The only thing I hate more than you is hating you."
Let me tell you why this. Let me tell you why this is so powerful right now.
Damn.
Let me tell you why this is so powerful. Dr. G is making such powerful, profound points, but there's also the phenomena of moving on and reconciling within yourself that there's no need to apologize. There's no need to want an apology. There's no need to forgive.
Yeah.
There's no need to get one. You think, oh, I'm good. I've moved on. Everything is okay. Until life reflects you back to you. Watch this. Life reflects the wound you think is healed back to you through relationship. Then you recognize what you moved on from was never dealt with. It was never healed.
You just moved on from it.
Moving on is not getting through.
Woo! You know, something I'd like all of us to try, because I used to give talks, and I would say, if I could give you the secret to happiness and peace of mind and maybe even success, if I gave that to you in one word, and if you disagree with it, you can throw it away, but if you agree with it, would you just take it into your life and act on it? And everyone's saying, oh yeah, I want the secret to happiness and whatever. And so I take a little piece of paper, and you can do this if you're presenting to other people, then go do your deal.
Mm-hmm.
And what you write on it is forgiveness. And you don't tell anyone, and you have them pass it from one to the other, and they're waiting for the secret. When I've done this in groups, they're like this, and they all do it. They open it, go,
Wow.
and they pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
But but I'd love you to all get that word out, because that could be a great mission. 'Cause everyone's looking, no, I got to get even with people, and again, you can't confuse forgiveness with forgetting. You know, forgiving means letting go of your angry attachment to something. It doesn't mean that you forget it.
Wow.
You just let go of the angry attachment, because that's like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to die.
Wow. Wow. Hey, listen. Today's topic, Dr. G just served it up. Distance healing. We've got Veronica Conway. She's got some guys on. One of the guys are on now. His name is Kevin. We're not going to bring him in just this second. I want to introduce everybody here in the studio. But distance healing.
So like distant lover and sexual healing kind of mixed. Mixed together. Yeah.
But that's the thing. People don't understand that. Listen to this question. Does unforgiveness have its own chi or energy? This is what I want to talk about. See, as black people, we have to get over generational curses.
So you coming like that.
People don't understand. Unforgiveness has its own chi. Carl Jung. You're not going to get through this shit until the unconscious rises to the conscious so it can reconcile itself through conflict in relationship. Does unforgiveness have its own chi? How do we heal at a distance? Can we forgive someone without actually having to talk to them? Can we forgive them internally? A lot of times that takes getting over yourself and your resentments and your grudges. Can you change the energy in you without even having a conversation, which changes the energy in someone else? We talking distance healing today. It's going to be cold than a motherfucker. Geoff, then Doc.
Couple of things. I should save these for the rant. Something you said about forgiving internally or when you give out the snippet of paper of forgiveness, how people look downtrodden after that.
No, it's not downtrodden. They exhale like this is the truth.
Like like it's the truth.
No,
It punched their ass. It resonated.
Oh no, they're not downtrodden because it's a gotcha. It's like a soul gotcha.
Wow.
Ooh, the soul aha moment.
Okay. Okay, well then fuck that ignorant shit I was gonna say. I had some ignorant shit that went.
Okay,
But,
bye.
Now I gotta say something though, because you mentioned something about distant healing. I think, what about healing beyond the grave? Because what happened to me is my dad died in '95, and I healed something about 6 years ago. And here's the downside of when you heal something is you feel a sense of sadness at waste. And what I realized, and this may apply to some people out there, one of the things my dad would say, whenever I do something, he'd say, you could do better. Now, the way I read that is that what I did wasn't worth anything. When he said, you can do better, it meant that what I'd done was crap. And so, I just held on to that. But then what I realized 6 or 7 years ago, my dad was an accountant. And he may have even had a touch of this Asperger's thing. And so when you say, if I got a 98, he was just saying you could do better, meaning you could do 100. He was being literal. And here's what you want to do if this applies to you. If he had said to me, you can do even better, would have changed the whole thing.
Just one word.
Yeah,
even.
Meaning this was good, but you can do even better. Then I wouldn't have had to hold on to what's the matter. Is what I was what I did not worth anything. So when you're saying things to people, it's amazing how a single word can change. And I realized he wasn't putting me down at all. He was just being an accountant. A 98 can be 100.
He was just counting beans.
That's right. He was just counting beans, and yet I think I held on to that most of my life. So I was just able to let it go, and then I just kind of apologized to him. But it was 20 years too late.
Well, going through what you were talking about earlier, to be sorry and forgiveness. So actually, those two things are kind of different. To be sorry means to feel the pain of someone else, and the etymology means to be in pain. It's the same word as sore, and so it doesn't mean sorrow. Forgive though means to give wholeheartedly. So when you're trying to forgive somebody, that you have to truly do that with everything that you are.
Now watch this. Watch this. That shit is so fucking powerful. Watch this. You take the P off pain. What do you have?
Ain.
The Ain principle.
Ain, yep.
The Ain principle in Arabic, and in what's the Jewish version of what's the shit Madonna used to follow with the red ring?
Kabbalah.
Mm-hmm. The Ain principle. The Ain principle is the highest level of understanding to understand God, the infinite, ineffable source of God. The Ain principle is what the Sufi vibrates on. Now, you can't get the Ain until you go through the pain. You can't, first off, forgiveness is an evolutionary level of healing.
Yes.
You cannot get to that evolutionary level of healing until you've been hurt.
Yes.
So hurt is part and parcel to growth. The Ain principle through pain.
Well, there's also I love the way you make distinctions between words. There's also a difference between saying I'm sorry and I was wrong.
That's right.
Because when you say I'm sorry, you're feeling the other person's pain. But when you say I was wrong, you're taking responsibility for owning it, which is why Clinton's apology about the Lewinsky thing was so unsatisfying, because he would say I'm sorry, but he never, and he would say it was wrong.
Right.
But he would never say I was wrong.
I think we almost, and forgive me if this sounds like splitting hairs, but I don't know how the fuck I wound up doing this, but I was counseling a friend and his wife before, and she said, I'm sorry about the things I said, but you blah, blah, blah. I said, stop.
But.
That's not sorry.
An apology is an admission of, this is my personal definition, is an admission of guilt or wrongdoing for something you did or said that has absolutely nothing to do with what the other person said or did. Nothing. Okay? So, in that vein, the way I see it, I'm sorry, and I was wrong, have to hold hands in an apology.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They don't have to. They ain't got to hang out. They ain't got to hang out outside of the apology.
I'll tell you, if you don't say I was wrong, you weren't sorry.
You weren't sorry.
That's right.
Wow.
It's as simple as that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on the line. He was brought to us by a very good friend of the show. She should be joining the show soon as well, Veronica Conway. This brother on the line, his name is Kevin. Kevin, can you come in here?
Hey, how are you?
Have you been listening to what we're talking about, bro?
Yeah, I've listened from the beginning, and it's an interesting theme that I'm grappling with in my own life, so it's going to be a good topic, the forgiveness thing.
Thank you. Talk to me about healing at a distance. Healing. People don't understand. I'm going to go into it a little later, but I want to know your perspective of forgiveness, healing at a distance, healing in general. Can you talk to us about what we've been talking about? What is your concept of this?
Well, I'll just backtrack a little bit. And I got involved in distance healing or working with technology as a result of failing and not getting deep enough to heal my own problems, right? So I went down traditional spiritual paths, went back to Catholicism, and then I went into the New Age, and then there was the yoga. And I hit all these walls, and nothing seemed to be happening, right? And then I realized there has to be some other solutions that I'm not tapping into at the moment. Right? So it was not being able to overcome my own obstacles and figure out my own problems, because fundamentally I didn't know what was happening to me. I'd want to get an apple and I'd get a stone. I had what I define as reverse magic. And it was a world that was constantly giving me the exact opposite of what I was trying to create. So the problems were below, deeply embedded in my unconscious or my bloodlines, and I wasn't aware of what the solutions are. So I was very reactionary as a kid. I'd get angry. I'd fight against the resistances, and it got to the point where I was exhausted and I was spinning my wheels and not going anywhere.
Wow. You mentioned some technologies. Don't tell me there's a technology, some type of device to help one heal.
Yeah. Well, there's technologies that can amplify a signal and feed it back into your life, and you begin to see the patterns. They come out. Like the plays that are embedded below your conscious mind, they come up into the surface world, and you can begin to enter into like an archetypal drama and play that you can begin to navigate through and begin to understand what's going on with your world.
What is the name of this technology?
It's almost like a biofeedback device that takes the stuff in your world and makes it magic.
Wow.
So the world takes on a magical quality, for better or worse, and then it's easy to make the choices about what you need to do and what you need and what needs to happen with your life. So the concept of forgiveness, to me, you cannot forgive someone unless you understand why you need to forgive them.
I got something like that in my life. Costs about $15 a gram. That allows everything in my life to be magical. It makes it easier for me to apologize. You just need a medical card to get a hold of it. I'm trying to find out what if there's this other.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Has just the right amount of fuck it right in the ingredients. Yes.
Right.
So I really am very interested. This is Geoff Brown, by the way, brother. How you doing? I am very, very, very interested in this technology.
How does this technology differ from Qigong or Reiki or these other kind of concepts, or even weed?
Well, it works. Well, I'll deal with one. I have one machine which I call the Excalibur machine, and basically it was based on an anti-aging device from the 1980s called the Dado ring. Okay, and this Italian scientist was studying the Hunza Valley where they lived up to 150 years, and he determined that the reason they lived so long was the magnetic anomalies found in that particular area. And so the Hunza Valley is a unique temperate zone where there's a hot valley next to a cold glacier area. And so the treatment area was a clash of the two magnetic anomalies, so hot and cold, and it created a heightened energy space. So to me, I studied that a little more, and I saw that as like turning up the volume internally within your genetics or magnetics. Your body works on electromagnetic principles.
So it's about
and so you can raise
amplifying
the magnetic environment, and you can absorb the energy and begin to rework your consciousness. You can accelerate through, we call it ascension. Ascension is really accumulation of energy or power.
You're doing this through meditation? Are you doing this through meditation?
Meditation is a part of it, but the machines amplify the signal, so you absorb the energy almost like a food.
Wow. Go ahead. Bobby?
I'm familiar with the Hunza people, and it was more to it than just that magnetic environment. It was that whole spatial environment in terms of the physical environment as well. But more importantly, you mentioned the Hunza people and their longevity. There were several elements of that. But because they did that before this technology was created, it makes me ask the question, is it something that we can just do without having to go there in terms of these terms that y'all are using now that I need a dictionary for? Is it something that we can just feel organically about how we deal with life to reconcile these issues?
Mm-hmm. But I think that's what technology's purpose is in our lives, is to bypass the time or the process that we would normally need if we were doing it without any connectivity to, technology. I think technology is to say, this is about convenience. Yes. This is about amplifying your energy signal right now, instantaneously, without having to control your body or learn how to learn those particular disciplines.
I think the core element, for the most part, in most technology is something Uncle Bobby kind of touched on. Is packaging.
Well,
it sounds like packaging, which is something. And I'm not gonna blame you. I'm gonna guess that you're white. I'm not gonna blame this on you, but your great granddaddy, he wasn't shit. Now, what I'm saying is
Jeff Brown.
That it sounds like these natural physical anomalies you're discussing are tangible, are reachable on one's own if one doesn't know. And it sounds like the technology steps into the gap of ignorance and goes for $59.95.
Oh, I see that. Listen, Kevin, I'm going to let you respond to him when we come back from break. This is about healing. Energy distance, man. Distance healing. This is crazy. New concept that has come to me. I want to be able to share it with you. I do know forgiveness, healing, prayer, meditation, all of these things are connected. And this brother Kevin just talked about amplifying your electromagnetic signal in order to fucking get there quicker. We're going to talk about it in a second when we come back. It's going down. So what mornings? Holla.
You're watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
I'm Laura Samoza.
I'm Sterling Gardner.
And we are Between the Sheets every Monday here, 3 p.m., tradiov.com.
T Radio V.
That's right. It's T Radio V, radio in TV. What is that face?
She wants to see our hands.
That's radio in TV. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not a couple.
Relationship Dismount is a book that I created. It's a breakup and makeup book. But what's interesting about this particular book is I used gymnastics to come up with a concept based off of sticking the landing. Everybody knows that in a gymnast's routine, one of the most important and crucial to the success of that routine is how they end it, how they finish it. And I decided to come up with the concept of relationship dismount using this metaphor. Sticking the landing, how you end it is how you begin it moving forward. So we wanted to take that metaphor and really expound on it in the context of intimate relationships.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey, turn it up, come on.
Here's an album that Zoe got, he won't share with his friends now. Zoe ain't shit. That's my boy, Zoe ain't shit. I would give him my rent, but he won't share this with me.
Get quiet on him.
I'm Jack Herrera for the president. Hey, you can give it now. Dr. G is acting like he cannot feel this shit now.
We back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we talking about healing.
No, this will help.
Distance healing.
Another technology.
Can I set it up though?
Yeah.
You don't want me to set it
go
up?
to focus.
You just want to cut in?
Yeah, I'm going to cut it.
Okay, cool.
No, you'll see why I'm cutting in, because of the music we just heard. If you go to Focus at Will, Focus at Will, the founder of this, I forget what, he was in a big rock band, and he's British, but what it is it's the power of music actually to cure ADD. And you just got a lot of people, a big investment in it. But I would bet that music can also heal and cause people to forgive. Because
wow.
Talk about energy.
Yeah.
That there's a certain resonance, and but if you also have a family member with ADD, check out focusatwill.com.
All right, I got to do this really quickly. I got to acknowledge Ashley Smith. 24 minutes ago, just donated $50 to the holographic relationship Indiegogo page.
Ashley.
I also got to acknowledge Miguel Oates. 27 minutes ago, donated $20
My man.
to the holographic relationship page. And then Anonymous, 33 minutes ago, $10. Listen.
Shout out to Anonymous. Thank you.
We're moving up slowly. We're inching up slowly. We're at 1605 right now. Listen, let's make this an impactful day. Get to my Indiegogo page. I'm going to be shouting out everybody who donates. If you don't want me to shout out your name, mark it as anonymous. I'll just call you anonymous. But we need your support to bring this book to life. I'm not on the radio as much as I was a couple of months ago, where I was doing three days a week over at the Dash Radio. I can only promote this thing on the air once a week. So we got to make it impactful whenever we show up. Bobby, speak to the topic of today, my friend.
Music is the healing force of the world. When the music pours through spiritually and honestly, and I've seen people moved by music in terms of how it made them feel, how it made them act, how it made them behave, because life, when you strip it to its various components, is right and wrong. And we get into all of these other evolutions, and that's appropriate, but there's always been a balance between the young and the old, because you don't get to be old without going through some things. And there's a disconnect right now that I'm troubled by in some aspects and inspired by in others when I meet young people who are thirsty for knowledge. Now, there's plenty of old fools out here. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of young people, because they have not spent time around the elders, they have to go back through the steps that they could have leaped over had they been connected generationally to the elders that are willing to teach. Because someday, if you live, you're going to grow older.
That's right.
If you live. The problem is too many of our young people are dying before they ever get a chance to live, heal, or do anything else. So some of the principles that are emerging now from technology, I'm with that, but it has to come with a balance of understanding the circle of life.
Wow. Ladies, go ahead, Kev. And
I wanted to say something more to the topic of remote energy healing, which is healing someone at a distance. So, either, in another town, in another room, or, even in another country. And that goes back to the premise that we are all connected. We all have electromagnetic fields, as everything in the world has an electromagnetic field as well as the earth. And so it's about resonance, if you understand anything about resonance. So when 2 points resonate at the same vibration, then information can flow between those 2 points effortlessly, and that's called superconductivity. And there's something called cymatics, where it's the vibrations in relation to form. You can look this up on YouTube. I have an actual channel called Cymatics, CYMATICS. And what happens is, in these videos, there are these scientists, I guess, and they're sending vibration through a black plate, and they put sand on the plate.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You've seen that. And so whenever they move the vibration up to a certain frequency, it starts to take a certain form. And so the higher the vibration, the more complicated the form gets. Now, if you look up enough of these videos, there's a lot of people doing them, and then some people actually tell you which frequency they're on every time they move up. So then you'll start to see that each frequency has a definite shape. It's crazy. Like, so no matter who's doing this experiment, whenever they hit that certain frequency, it all makes the same exact shape. So that means information has a definite vibration, or whatever vibration you're on. So when you're healing somebody or remote healing somebody, if those two people are on the same vibration and thinking, and one person who's receiving the healing is accepting and the other person is consciously being able to send that energy, then that's how that healing is able to happen.
Good shit. Listen, Kevin, I wanted you to finish your thought from that discussion we were having before the break. Kevin, did you remember what we were talking about? That means no.
He might have took offense.
I was watching the commercials.
At the question.
No, again, Bobby was talking about how there's an ability to get what technology is now able to provide on your own.
It's just innate. It's innate. I mean, it's part of being human. All right, either we're receptive to it. That which you're really seeking is also seeking you. So if you want to get out of that hump,
you got to put your headphones on, Bobby, so you can
high
hear.
Energy.
Hear myself.
And you begin to see different patterns come up, and you begin to make different choices. In other words, it's rather than like trying to tell someone what to do, you give them the energy, and they figure it out on their own.
Wow.
So it's changing the base energy values of an environment, a family, a person, and they begin functioning on a different level, and they begin to make a series of different choices which lead in a different direction. So the basic premise that most problems in someone's life is a function of low energy state. You give them higher energy states, and different parts of their consciousness begin to activate.
I actually have something that I before this conversation I speak to my children about, and I call it low frequency behavior. When you lie, when you cut corners, that's all low frequency common denominator.
When you
behavior.
cheat,
when you cheat, all of that.
Shortcuts is cutting yourself short. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, it is impossible. I tell them that when you use shortcuts, you're using a two-edged razor, and they're beginning to get that. They're beginning to understand it. And if you think about it, the people you have the most issues with operate on lower frequencies than you. Even intelligent people who you know are smarter than you, you can look at them and tell that they're being dominated for some subconscious reason by their lower frequencies.
The two are interrelated because your frequency is governed by your belief.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You can get energized to what degree? Is that more energy to do the same stuff you've been doing? Or is it governed by a willingness to say, I want more out of life?
Wow.
And I'm not satisfied with the outcome thus far.
Dr. G, what is the process of forgiveness and healing? Because some people just don't know how to start. They don't know how to take that first step. How do they do it?
First of all, notice if you're in a state of stress or distress. Difference between stress and distress. Stress, you can still stay focused on what you're trying to get done. When it becomes too much, it becomes distress, and then you focus on relieving the distress. So you let go of whatever you're focused on to relieve the distress. So if you're in a state of stress, maybe heading towards distress, ask yourself, use the word, is there something that I'm holding on to? Or is there something that I'm not letting go of? And then play around with the word forgiveness. Is this because I need to forgive someone? I need someone to forgive me? Is it because I can't forgive someone or I can't forgive myself? But the first thing is to notice the physical kind of thing. The reason being is when you start an exercise, it's good to win the first step. So whenever you're in the and the way you so everyone can usually identify a physical sensation. God, I'm feeling sort of chest pain or whatever like that.
Well, then that sounds like the first thing you should do is forgive yourself.
Wow.
Well, say more about that.
Well, it's that simple, really, because how you gonna forgive somebody else if part of it is you? Because if there was a conflict, it wasn't all one-sided.
Right.
You had something to do with. Sometimes it was what's the word I'm looking for when you codependent with somebody.
Yeah, you're a co-creator of the
you
conflict.
knew
Yeah.
that you was bending, and then they screwed you, but you knew something wasn't right.
An enabler.
And that's the word I was looking for, an enabler. So I think the first step would be to forgive yourself, because you had something to do with it.
Listen, Kevin on the phone, and then I'm bringing in Veronica, and then Kevin in the studio. Kevin on the phone. Add to it, man.
Well, I look at forgiveness is a two-part equation, obviously, between the person that you have a conflict with. And I tend to believe that if we go into higher energy states, that conflict is a good thing. We resolve through conflict.
Right.
Conflict avoidance doesn't lead to forgiveness. It just leads to it never getting resolved. So it's the ability to be able to handle conflict and not overreact and get to the root of the problem.
That's right.
Right? And so that's facing the person and dealing with it and being able to handle the pain, because conflict leads to pain. So it's an increase in pain tolerance that leads to resolution. So if you look at sports, all athletic breakthroughs are a function of increased pain tolerance in athletes, right? So advancements in consciousness is about increasing the ability to handle pain.
Wow.
right.
Wow. This is good shit. Let me get Veronica in, then you. Niggas ain't listening to the order.
I just want to say something.
You better listen to the order, Pimp. Hold on to that thought. Write down the note. We got to do radio shit now.
It's gonna be gone.
No, there you write down that note, goddammit.
It's out.
Veronica
It's
Conway
already
is
gone.
in the building. VC, come in here.
Already gone.
Hey, where's Veronica, man?
Veronica.
VC, Veronica.
There she is.
Speak on it. We got you, Veronica. Where you at?
Is she here?
Okay, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
We got you. Let's
Yeah.
go.
You okay?
Great. Cool. Okay.
Did you hear us? at all?
So, no, I didn't hear the question. So give me the
Veronica,
question.
you got to be watching. You got to be watching it, baby.
Veronica over there doing something else.
Veronica is changing the world.
What dude you got over there reduced to the fetal position, sucking his thumb? What you done, Veronica?
What dude have you healed?
He laying over there healed.
Laying over there fully healed, right? Veronica, we're
Right.
talking about, this
Yes.
energy healing at a distance, and you were saying that you had some
Yes.
context to bring to that. So speak to it.
Yeah, so understand, and the reason that I think that this topic is important is I want to make it kind of relevant to like the audience and the listeners, and because I think that one of the things that we get confused about as human beings is that we think that we can do everything through willpower, and will is not really as sustainable in most people as we think it is, right? we're not as inclined to. We know what we should do, but we don't necessarily do it because willpower is not a constant. And so what I think the way that I have used distance energy for both myself, for my clients, and for my children are in some pretty meaningful ways. And so the way I think about distance energy is you could think about it like like if you know how XM Sirius has a satellite in the sky, and if you have a subscription to XM Sirius, right? If you have a transmitter in your car, then you're going to pick up that signal and you're going to receive that signal of that transmission. Well, you can do the same thing with humans, and the reason that it works, and the stuff that Kevin's talking about, is because in every human being we're 70% water. And in between the H molecule and the O molecule is this thing called a tachyon. It's the thing that actually holds the water molecules together. And so what Kevin's technology does is it targets that molecule, that tachyon. And what it does is it raises the vibration of the water and reorganizes the water inside that human being. So what are the implications for healing? So, for example, my son had very significant issues with ADHD.
Wait, Veronica,
Yeah.
slow down.
Go ahead.
You
Yeah.
can't say
Okay.
powerful shit
And just keep going.
and keep going. Stop.
Okay. All right.
Are you telling me, for layman's, water has memory?
I'm saying that water has structure, and you can target that structure with a signal at a distance and impact the water of that person. And so, and when I say that the change that you can create in a human being without the necessity of using willpower, when you begin to change the underlying molecular structure of the water inside of a human being, that human being changes their behavior, they change their reactions, they change how they function, they change their processing issues, they change all kinds of things because you've impacted them at sort of the quantum level. And so what I'm saying is that this is the next level beyond willpower, beyond practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you can actually directly intervene with the human being
by
at a
focusing on
distance
their water.
Using their water.
Wow.
Go get a glass of water. I'm finna fuck you up.
Oh, Jesus. This shit is crazy. Listen, I got to take a quick break. Hey, Kevin on the phone. We coming back. Kevin in the studio. Doc G, Geoff Brown, and the always irascible and ornery Bobby Glanton-Smith. He is our resident contrarian to new age, newfangled shit. He will speak on it when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zoe Web Morning Show is on fire. We talking about forgiveness, healing at a distance. Veronica Conway just smacked us in the mouth with a gang of monkey lava. We'll be back to clear it all up.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
In chapter 10, we talk about the difference between being embittered, embattled, or embittered. So, if you're embittered, of course you're holding on to things. You're resentful. You're resistant. If you're embattled, you're fighting. No, I don't accept that. I don't want that. But if you're open and you're allowing the process to unfold and flower within you and beyond you, you have an opportunity to become embittered. And chapter 10 goes into detail on how to stop being embittered, how to stop looking for the win by being embattled, and how to evolve and expand to a space of embitterment. I mean, it's an incredible work, man, and I'm excited about it.
watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
I hate to be the wet blanket today, but we go into every subject with regard to how to make you and therefore ourselves better. Some folk, you know how Veronica, shout out to Veronica, was just discussing the ability to actually impact another human being's water. You gotta come to grips with understanding that some folks' water got shit floating in it. And regardless to how you affect that water, you ain't gonna clean it. You can make it boil, you can make it freeze, but you can't clean it. They gotta clean it. Unrequited remorse is a topic or a phrase that I came up with on my own. This is what you see when you see families where some sick, twisted fuck has done something horrible to a member of their family, and he's about to be sentenced, and he reads this long diatribe of shit, and in there somewhere is an apology. To me, that apology is vapid and shallow and only serves to feed the family's desire for unrequited remorse, which is where you get to say sorry, so I get to let you see me say I don't accept it. I don't need that. I am not one who needs unrequited remorse. I don't need it. I don't care. If you do something bad to my family, I don't give a fuck about how sorry you are. I don't care. Maybe that makes me a little different. And this could put me right in the crosshairs of the next thing that I have to say, which is that forgiveness is about running the negative experience that you've had through the laundromat, the soul's laundromat of your ego. Okay?
This nigga waxing deep today. Go ahead.
You got to, in order to get to forgiving somebody, whatever happened to you has to run through your ego's laundromat and wash out before you can make that clear. Now, what kind of shit you got floating in your ego's laundromat will determine your ability to forgive, your frequency of forgiveness, your quickness of forgiveness.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to clean your soul's laundromat. Understand who forgiveness is really for. This is where a lot of people get hung up, is they think that forgiveness is more for the other person than it is for them. Forgiveness, dude, is mostly for you. It's mostly for you. Most people who have fucked you over have kept it moving and really, really aren't at the station. If they were low frequency enough to fuck you over, do you think that their frequency has raised enough for them to give a fuck about that? More than likely not. So when you say, I forgive you, another way to put it is to go, dude, I'm not judging you, but this shit I've been carrying belongs to you, and I'm dropping it back off.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
I'm done.
Kevin on the phone line. Kev, are you there?
Yeah.
I need to know, how do people find you? How do people find your products? What are you selling? What do you do that will, because I want people who are listening to this show to go find Kevin and get this healing, this technology that he's been talking about on this show. How do people find you? How do they connect with you? Speak to that, please.
Well, the website's called AscensionEnergyProgram.com. And basically what they're doing is buying a subscription, and we treat them basically using photographs. and name links.
Uh-oh.
So it's a
Please
witness
go
effect
deep.
through photographs.
Please explain that process. Please go deep. Healing
well, energy
with
is
a
attention,
photograph.
right? So
Yes.
anything we focus on, we're influencing,
Mhm.
right? So in sports, the gamblers give the home team 3 points in football, okay? That's the influence of the home team fans having the outcome of the game. The reason why we're so interested in sports is we actually affect outcomes, right? So the more emotionally involved we get in something, the more we can have a greater influence on the outcome. There is a real effect, and gamblers understand this, and that's why they give you 3 points.
Wow.
Right? And as you know, bookies are pretty good at making a line, and oftentimes you're like, I can't believe that guy hit it right on the money, you know, because they know what they're doing. These results are repeatable. They've seen it over for a long time. And so basically, you know, the machines operate like giving you the 3 points. So it increases your edge in life, and it accumulates over time, so it can take you into different spaces that lead you in a different direction.
Wow. Damn. Man, what's the name of the website one more time, please?
AscensionEnergyProgram.com.
Listen, this is some next level shit. I want to bring it to y'all.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's your whole name so they can find that too?
Last name is Courtois, Courtois.
Kevin Courtois of the French Courtois. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I'm aware.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
We didn't think it was Polish, Kev. we was on.
Kev, hey man, I just want to say thank you so much for coming, chiming in, sharing. We appreciate the knowledge. And everybody, call to action. Go support Kevin Courtois. Go to his website, lock it in, and let's do it. Thanks so much for chiming in, Kev.
Thank you, Kevin.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right. Listen, let me do this. Because Bobby is a hater. Let's get Bobby's negativity in here. Speak on it, Bobby, because you don't agree with none of this shit we was talking about. So say it.
Why should I? You just spoke on my behalf, man.
I'm just watching Bobby watching this shit over here.
No. I just think we always have to look at things in this order of progression. Because before this technology, there was, what's the guy's name? The firewalker? Tony Robbins.
Tony
You know,
Robbins, yeah.
and before him, there was Think and Grow Rich. And there's always been a process that's interrelated to trying to find a way to connect to the soul and the body and the spirit and all of that. And I'm just saying, just keep it all in perspective, man, because sometimes people won't always be attracted to that magnetic force, but there's always another way to get to the same destination. And first, just check with your own self, you know, because that what you're seeking in life, whatever it is, it's also seeking you. But you have to be pure in your heart about that. And then these other things can probably be supplements to that, but the root of it is, who are you and what are you trying to do before you get out of here?
Okay, Bobby, that was real nice the way you said that. And, you know, kind of took the sting off the hater shit a little bit. Kevin, go ahead, man. That motherfucker be on fire during the break. Do that bullshit.
Yeah,
I tell you that much right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you that much right now, nigga. I can heal myself without any of
the
this
stinger just
motherfucking
came out of what he wanted to say.
Yeah, we already know what he
Believe
wanted
that
to
shit.
God damn it, shit. Fuck that shit. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to heal myself.
Listen to you goddamn young ass boys. You don't know shit.
But no, I wanted to
I got cake and water. That's all I need, motherfucker.
Change your water, change your life.
I just wanted to speak real quick on what Geoff was talking about, going back to forgiveness and all those different things. So those words, sorrow, forgiveness, remorse, and apologizing, they all mean different things, but they actually all use one another. So when you're sorry, it means to feel someone else's pain, and so you have to go through that and to truly get to it.
Really quickly, sorry is empathy.
Yes,
Say
sorry means to be sore. It means to feel someone's
to
pain.
empathize.
Right.
Yes.
So then, to apologize though means to take an account of. So you really can't be sorry or remorseful, which is another thing. So you have to take an account. I mean, going back to what Dr. G said, you have to be responsible for whatever happened. That person who was giving that apology has to be responsible. That's taking an account, saying, all right, I did this, I did that, I did this. Then to be remorseful, though, is to be tormented by your conscience. That's what that remorse means, torment. So when you're tormented by whatever you've done to somebody, then that usually will lead to then you empathizing with them, and then ultimately taking account for what you did, and then forgiveness, which is to, and then that's for the other person is now that the person that you've wronged, then that's their part in it, is to forgive, is to wholeheartedly, is to give wholeheartedly, to let it go, and those are the things how they use each other combined.
Heavy shit. Veronica Conway, you're on the line. We lost Veronica? Y'all didn't want to tell me? Y'all didn't want to tell me we lost Veronica? Put the camera on. Thor, put the camera on yourself.
But so, so we're going to get a chance for you to practice this forgiveness thing, because you're going to need to forgive me in 2 weeks, man, when I
bootleg ass commercial.
When I put you in that cycle, man. What is that?
Saying, this is just coming from somebody
talking some basketball shit?
Yeah, I mean, this is coming from somebody who's already lost.
I'm going to break both his ankles and his spirit.
Okay, enough of Bobby. Who's on the line? We got somebody on the line right now? Move past this bullshit. Who do we have on the line? We got somebody on the line right now. Who is it? Welcome to the Zoe What Morning Show. Speak on it.
Can you hear? Can you speak? Person.
Boost Mobile. Oh, now you don't have him? The phone just farted? Cool. Back to our conversation. Dr. G?
There's a certain irony that you're most present when you're most focused outside yourself. And if you want to, one of the best ways to stop.
I'm not going to cut you. I just need to know what
just
that
cut
meant.
him off.
But I didn't understand what he said, though.
Okay. If you want to stop any argument, any conflict in its tracks, all you have to do is ask yourself, what's it like for the other person right now? Because you cannot be curious about another person or be more present in their eyes and also be angry at them. Because when you're curious about where another person's coming from without judgment, it's a sensory experience, whereas when you're angry, it's a motor experience. You're getting even with them. And so the irony is we're most present in the world when we're actually focused on trying to understand and feel where the other person's coming from, because when you do that also, the other person lowers their guard. So like if I was focused on, the little repartee between Bobby and Zoe, I think where you're coming from is, I kind of like Zoe, I kind of like being that sort of alternate point of view, but I don't want to be a foil for your shit. I have a point of view that's legitimate as opposed to just something. Let's throw it to Bobby to see how he rains on everyone's parade. There's a little more substance to me than just being this, grumbly old guy. Although, if it scores us viewers, I'll be the grumbly old guy. But you have a real point of view that you're passionate about, in addition to being entertaining.
See that? See how the white man starts shit?
Is any of that?
I just saw that. I did just saw that.
Is any of that true?
I'm watching it
Actually,
right
Doc,
now.
Doc, you was on point, Doc. You was actually on point, man.
What was I on point about?
The whole way you structured that, because all of that is accurate in dimension. Every bit of that is accurate. This is my dude, man. I love this brother. I'm proud of what he's done with this show. And however it spins, I'm going to roll with it and still maintain my personal integrity. Mm-hmm. That's what you just said.
That's what we do, right.
Yeah.
But let me just say this. In terms of healing and in terms of forgiveness, I don't want to give up too much of my final thought. But I will say this. When it comes to blacks, we're quicker to forgive others than we are
each other. Oh, my God.
Now, this is something that we got to deal with if we're ever going to show any semblance of unity.
Perfect point, Cole. You do that by example. Because when I first met Zoe, I didn't trust him. And that was born out of just
he's
that.
from Chattanooga.
Light skin.
That nigga from Chattanooga.
Light skin,
I'm from
green eyes.
Murfreesboro.
Same thing. Light skin.
Chattanooga niggas born in oil. They slick.
Zoe don't want to act like it, but Zoe got dark skin tendencies. Okay? Zoe don't act like regular light skinned people. Go ahead with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
That's a great
does that mean?
No, it's true.
It's true. You act like a dark skinned dude.
Because we form
can fight.
Right. And I didn't trust him, man. I really didn't. And I mean, this was very serious pronounced and acute. He picked up on it, and he's like, where's that coming from? And I had to be man enough to tell Zoe at one point,
Al
"Look,
be sure
man,
cheated me out of $1,000.
I was wrong."
So I don't like light-skinned people.
The mark of a man is to admit when he's wrong. And when we want to deal with forgiveness, then, again, I think it starts with us. I was wrong about Zoe. He wasn't who I thought he was. And a lot of times as black people, we'll leave that land right there where it is.
Mm-hmm.
We won't go back, pick it up, dust it off, and say, hey, man, that's on me.
And
You
to
know?
build on that, and then to Geoff, he wasn't who I thought he was. Sometimes our disappointment that's aimed at the person really should be aimed at the expectations and perceptions
That we
we have of the person. Sometimes we more disappointed we didn't get what we wanted from the person, and that's what makes us not like the person. Listen, you got to blame yourself when you see the people as you think they should be, as
Great
opposed
point.
to ignoring
Yep.
what you see them as for real.
That's a good point.
Jeff, that was Jeff, then you, Doc. Sorry.
Okay. What something Uncle Bobby said about and that Zoe touched on about black people not wanting to forgive one another and being easy to forgive others. It is because certain unforgiveness is very, very expensive. It is expensive to call this. Let's just use this nation. Let's go big. Let's call this nation out on its 40 acres and a mule. Let's call this nation out on its unfair prison terms for people of color. If we don't forgive that, do you know how expensive that becomes? Do you know how expensive it becomes to not forgive Donald Sterling and the Clippers incident and have black people refuse to play basketball and black folks refuse to watch NBA games? God damn, nigga, I can't watch the game because of this shit right here. I got Doritos. I got people coming over. Blah, blah. It's certain shit is too expensive. It's cheap to not forgive other black folks because in your eyes, they can't do shit for you no way. So fuck them anyway.
That's interesting. Dr. G?
A challenge for you, Zoe, because I want to see if you can forgive something. And because
shit.
No, because I get a sense you have trouble forgiving the blacks who listen in, that if they took in 10% of what goes on in the show, they could help themselves, but they refuse to. And I think it's tough for you to forgive people who passively listen but will not do anything to better their life.
Okay, so
and now maybe it's not forgiving. Maybe you're just frustrated and you're fired up with them, and what's that about?
Yeah, because I was going to say, I'm not hurt by them yet.
There you go.
That's why I keep doing it. See, I'm not hurt by them yet.
Say more about
And even if they hurt me, 9 times out of 10, I would keep doing it because I love my folks so much that they're the only ones that can hurt me and get away with it. It's fucked up to say that. You know, listen, when it's family forever. My son could hurt me by disappointing me. Both my sons can do that. My daughter, 16-year-old baby boo, can hurt a nigga deep, man. But that's my baby boo. That's my baby boo.
She ain't fired.
She not fired, right. So when it comes to my people, I feel the same way.
So what is something you have trouble forgiving? Or maybe there's some things you shouldn't forgive.
You know what I have trouble forgiving? When people disrespect the peace process. When people disrespect the common sense rules of coming together. It's like obstinance for obstinate's sake. I don't like that. I don't want to be together with my people because we ain't shit. I don't like those kind of people. It don't mean I'll write them off, but I have trouble forgiving those kind of people. People who can be purchased bothers me a lot. In our history as black people, the greater dominant establishment has found ways to buy off members of our community that would trade and Benedict Arnold us in. That shit hurts. But guess what? Because I love my people, there's always a place for them motherfuckers to slip through the cracks. That's a hard thing for me to forgive. Geoff?
It's hard for me to forgive people who have not changed from their place of infraction. meaning.
But forgiveness isn't for them.
Exactly.
It's not for them in the first place.
It's not for them. It is for me. And it is hard for me to drop your shit off that you gave me if you haven't changed in order to receive it. Meaning, if, let's make this personal. My stepfather died many years ago, and I mean, he used to beat my mama, nigga, till candy came out. He just, he was a violent, horrible motherfucker. And I am still, as I sit here, fine with never ever forgiving him. He died, and I didn't forgive him. Why? Because to my knowledge, he didn't change. He was the same horrible motherfucker when he died. So I don't have a problem keeping. I'm gonna keep this forgiveness until I can see that you change, and I'm good with keeping it.
Wow, that's interesting. Listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to conclude with Veronica, Conway, Dr. G. Everybody's going to chime in. We'll be right back. Zoe What Mornings, Zoe What Morning Show.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Hi, I'm Bob Nalbandian, and be sure to watch my show Inside Metal, which airs live every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on T Radio V. I'm going to be bringing in the greatest heavy metal artists live right here in the studio. Once again, every week at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Tuesday, right here at tradiov.com, radio in TV.
Hello, T Radio V.
Hello for us.
Hi, guys. My name is Steve Renazizi.
My name is Mary Elizabeth Ellis.
My name is Katie Hazelton.
You're watching TV on the radio, but you're not watching it, you're listening to it, because radio on TV.
Hi, T Radio V.
Keep that radio going inside that television set.
I love T Radio V.
Trust her.
T Radio V. Radio in TV.
Radio in TV.
I'm Zoe Williams.
And I'm Dr. Mark Goulston.
I'm Geoff Brown.
And we make up the Zoe What Morning Show. You can find us here on tradiov.com every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I make you think.
He makes you laugh, and if I get a chance, I'll help you change.
Or make you cry with his attempts at humor.
Radio in TV.
Can you relate? We'll make it happen.
Look at Geoff. What you doing?
Were you mumbling to yourself?
Hey, back there mumbling.
To them.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Over the game in Hottie Land, where every song sings about material gains. It's just what she doing to escape the pain.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building. Today's topic is energy healing at a distance. Distance healing. We're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about all types of wounding, generational curses. We're just talking about how it can be healed. And earlier in the show, we had a brother named Kevin on the line. We gave out his website. We gave out all of his information. He has technology that could help heal people at a distance.
What about sexual healing? That's
Okay,
what about that.
okay. Thank you, Bobby. Yes.
I just want to know.
Joke moment.
No, it wasn't. I'm
So,
them off.
and you know, Veronica will tell you about that sexual shit. Now, we don't want to get her started. She's here.
Yes, we do.
She's on the line. But we have another person on the line who's a doctor in this field as well. Can you guys put his name up so I can see it really quickly? His name is Tom? Tom, are you on the line right now?
Yes, hi, good afternoon.
Hey, what's happening? We need some context. We need to understand. We got a lot of ignorant folk here in the studio who doesn't know what energy healing at it, who don't know.
Subject
Thank
verb
you.
agreement.
Who don't know. Come on, guys, let me finish now. I'm trying to bring this man in here who don't know, right, what distance healing is. Is it real? How does it work? What technologies are out there that supports it? What is that technology called? Can you explain it to us?
Sure, it's easy. We all experience some type of distance communication, whether it's a cell phone or a satellite or a radio or a TV. Your radio broadcast is an example of distant communication. Well, you can have distant healing simply by modifying that signal and having that signal, that electrical impulse in your case, serve to better human health. Well, I'm working with scalar energy, which is a different type of energy. It's not electricity, but I can likewise use my instrument like a satellite or like a radio station. I can send out a signal, and I could do so at thousands of miles away, and in so doing, I can affect human health advantageously.
Interesting. What did you call it? Scalar energy? What is it?
Scalar energy.
Scalar energy.
If you remember the great scientist Nikola Tesla.
Of course.
Tesla was working with scalar energy. Back in the day, he called it radiant energy. Well, today, the common term is scalar. Well, frankly, everybody is conversant with this term in one way or another. People call it chi or prana or pyramid energy. Or today, another term is zero-point energy. All of those terms are synonymous. There's a different type of energy than that of electricity. What I'm saying is there is another type of energy besides that of the electromagnetic spectrum. So in so many words, I'm working with that other type of energy, the scalar energy or chi energy, and I can do incredible things with it.
Didn't Tesla also call it free energy? It's just out there? Right, it's just available, right?
Absolutely. It's free energy, and to cut to the chase, once we start using this free energy, we won't have an energy crisis, period.
Wow, so you mean to tell me, see, because this is where this show is going. You call it scalar energy, free energy, 0 point, prana, chi, whatever, atma, whatever. My point is, how does the average being tap into this energy, use it to heal themselves of generational curses, generational hurts, negative thought processes? How do people tap into it and change their life with it? What is step one?
Step one is just be yourself. Everybody possesses scalar energy. What's an example of scalar energy? Prayer or a positive thought or emotion. As your guests were elaborating previously, that everybody has the ability to forgive. Everybody has the ability for empathy. Well, all of those are some type of broadcast of energy, specifically scalar energy. So what I'm saying is scalar energy really is that life force energy that embodies so many things, including emotions, including forgiveness, empathy, hope, etc.
So there are technologies available for people to tap in that will amplify their signal, their positive signal, of scalar energy, free energy, prana, chi, whatever we want to call it. Where can people get those instruments, and how much do they cost? Shit, because people need this, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not in the position to manufacture these, but I have perfected scalar energy instruments, which in many ways are these free energy instruments that will eventually come into vogue. Wow. My purpose now is to demonstrate how effective, how real this is. First, I have to prove that scalar energy is real. Then I have to demonstrate the benefits. And once I do that, then people will start to wake up as to what scalar energy is.
I'm going to tell you right now, you damn sure got to prove it to Bobby. Bobby's in here right now like, this is some bullshit, goddammit. I'm from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I don't believe none of this bullshit. You understand?
This bullshit-ass snake oil.
This is snake oil right here. I know what a snake is. I know how a snake produce oil. That's snake oil right there. You understand?
Piss down my neck and tell me it's raining outside.
So in what way can you demonstrate the power of scalar energy?
He just threw the rock and hit his hand, man.
I love it, Bobby. That's what we're doing right now.
Well, what I've demonstrated, the way I've calibrated one particular instrument is it is distant healing. Once again, I can send a signal at a distance as a satellite or a radio station, etc.
Oh, we're going radio.
So with my distance healing, I can send energy to a person, and I can instruct scalar energy to break apart germs, break apart viruses, bacteria, fungi in their body. So with my scalar energy instrument, a 0 point energy instrument, I've calibrated it. I've perfected it to the point that I can easily disassemble, break down viruses and bacteria and fungi. I have essentially discovered, if you will, what will go down as the cure for pathogenic infection.
Are you tuning these to definite frequencies?
The way I work is by identifying a germ. All I need is a photograph of a germ. For instance, if I wanted to broadcast the energy of the herpes virus, all I need to do is take an actual magnified photograph of the herpes virus and place it in my instrument. Mm-hmm. So everything is recognized by way of light recognition, a harmonic, if you will, a signature.
Hold on.
And in
So
so doing, if I place a photograph of the herpes virus in my instrument, then my instrument has that informational input, that informational download to destroy, to break apart the herpes virus.
Oh, Lord, this white man invented a herpes gun. Now,
the herpes ray gun.
A herpes ray gun. You can shoot herpes across the room.
Through the microphone. Just tell him.
Do you know I would go in the club. I would go in the club and just go, you know what? All you motherfuckers got herpes.
We gonna ray gun
sores on lips. Just everybody got sores on lips.
Why would you do that?
Huh?
Why would you do that?
Because they ain't got no business in the club. No.
Okay, there you go.
Ain't got no business.
No, I think this is very interesting because if you listen to what our guy Tom is talking about, my son, ACL surgery, you guys already know that. He had it when he was in the 11th grade. And now, you remember that that ultrasound thing that they use to look at the babies?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
They now using that
That's right.
to break up scar tissue.
Get out of here, just that?
Just that. They put the same little jelly shit they put on the baby, on the belly, and to see the baby. They're using those same ultrasounds to break up scar tissue in ACL, right? And we thought it was weird because my son, you know, these young kids, they don't know shit. They just, you know. This one lady, before he went to school, was like, look, I got access to this machine. I won't charge y'all. Bring him over here for sessions. My son was like, that shit don't work. I don't want no weird stuff happening. I said, look, it's free.
If you don't get your ass
and
over
it's some
here.
other shit.
You're
So
right.
we went there a couple of times, and she did it for him. He noticed increased flexibility. The scar tissue went down. And now, down at his school, when I went down there, they were doing the same thing to him.
Wow.
I'm telling you. That So in a way, he's talking about being able to do that without the instrument.
Right. Okay, they were doing it to your son without your prompting? Like this is yet another group of people doing
No. This is part of their maintenance and therapy for him.
Oh, okay.
So you know, NBA guys are doing it. Right. This is happening. This is real stuff. Yeah, so he's talking about doing it from a distance? Using using yourself as the instrument? Wow,
I'm
man.
going to give somebody herpes in Cleveland.
Would you stop it? He's talking about healing herpes, not giving it to him, Geoff.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to give. Okay, where does the herpes go, Doc?
Oh, Jesus, Geoff.
Okay, once I tune my frequency to get rid of the herpes, is herpes now just like flying, like airborne or frequency borne?
Stop, Geoff. You grab him. Go get him, Kevin.
If I break apart, if I disassemble the herpes virus inside the body, what happens is it actually fragments. It's reduced to hundreds of thousands of pieces, fragments of the virus. So it really breaks down into separate proteins, and those proteins are harmless. So what I'm really saying is when I send this signal, this scalar energy signal into the body, it can break down the herpes virus into hundreds, thousands of smaller proteins, and it's a harmless process.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like the machine is almost like baking soda. You can brush your teeth with it, or you can make crack with it.
What?
Like an EMP.
Like you can do. No, he's saying he can break up herpes. He can do all these different things with the same object. Like bacon, it's like baking soda. It's like baking soda.
No.
You can clean your carpet, or you can make crack.
It has multiple uses. That's what you're saying? Okay, stop, Geoff. We're going to stop you right now. Geoff, it means like crack. No. Hey, listen, hold on one second, Tom. We got Veronica Conway who referred you. She has a couple of things to say. Hold on one second. We're going to get Veronica on right now. VC! Veronica.
There she is.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God. Hey, Dr. Tom
It's a beast.
is a beast. He dropping jewels. Have you been listening?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Come on in here, VC. You got to wrap it up.
Okay. So, what's your question?
We don't have a question. Have you been listening?
I have been listening.
All right then.
So,
Summarize
yeah,
it
so
for
I
us,
would-
baby.
So I would. So here's what I would hope. Reason that I brought these two. I've been around these technologies. You know, my daughter got diagnosed with Lyme disease about 18 months ago, and for those of you that don't know, Lyme is a very serious disease and has pretty significant implications for long-term health. And so I brought in Tom Palladino to work with her, and he's working with her around her Lyme disease. And so I think that the reason that I brought these two resources to the show today is because I want to let our community understand that there are some technologies out there that are beyond what you may know. I think that one of the things that we have to really remember, one of the things that Uchama always talks about why, you know, when Uchama talks about why men don't get to have the experience of women that he has, women as receptive, women as orgasmic, women as all these things, is because many of the men in our community are really engaged in pride. And what pride does in our community is it says, if I've never experienced it, then it doesn't exist.
Wow.
And what's true is there's a lot of things that exist that are outside of the realm of our experience. And so because I've been blessed to experience some things that are outside of the realm of normal human operation that have massive implications directly for people's health, for their sanity, for their well-being, I want to expose our community to those things because I think that we could have an amazing competitive advantage if we would open up our minds to the things beyond which we currently know.
How
That's
about it?
my purpose in bringing all of this here.
How about it? I knew when Veronica said she had some heavy hitters, she was going to bring some monsters to the table. We need technological support for the unforgiveness that is just lingering around the black community like a dirty, nasty, stinky, energetic cloud of bullshit. I'm happy Veronica brought these people to the table. I'm happy.
Hey, me too.
Shit, we need these people. Veronica, hold on one second. Let me get back to Tom. Tom Palladino.
Tom Palladino.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, I'm back.
Have you been listening? Are you watching the show, or are you on hold?
I was disconnected. I just came back. Sorry about
All right, no worries, man. We just finished talking to Veronica Conway. She's the sister that brought you onto the show. Where do people find you? What's your website? How does this massive audience connect with you to support your movement and support their own healing? Talk to me.
Thank you. The best way is my website, selfhealgo.com. I'm a private individual. I'm not attached to any university or corporation. So I have to rely literally on the Internet for my access to the general public. So selfhealgo is the best way to contact me.
Excellent, man. I am so appreciative of you coming on and sharing with us this information. I'm going to tell you why. Because as black people, we tend to distrust everything outside the Bible and, and our belief, the Bible, the Quran, and all this other. We tend to distrust everything, especially coming from white folk. We distrust a lot of stuff y'all say, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, we need alternative methods and alternative models of possibility, as Bobby would call it, to change up the thought process that keeps us in the situation we find ourselves in decade after decade after decade after decade. We need this information. I appreciate you for coming on and sharing. And anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome to do so.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you again. Now, we got to go to break. But when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. The Zoe Up Morning Show on T Radio V. That's radio in your fucking TV, niggas.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
knows that relationships, when they break down, can be extremely hurtful, disappointing, frustrating, and the cocoon was, the concept of it was created from a poem I wrote called The Human Chrysalis in my first book, The Rebirth of Seeds. And what I explained was, when you break up with someone, you need time and space to kind of flush out and process all of your feelings, all of your attachments, your evaluation of yourself, your evaluation of your partner, time to, almost take inventory of all of the things that you are accountable for. So in chapter 3, the cocoon is designed for you to go inside and work out these, particular problems or issues, and not only work them out, but actually take ownership of them before you jump into something else with someone else. So we wanted to create this space of healing, this space of kind of internal inventory before moving into the next situation with unresolved relationship debris.
You gotta let it go. There's a better day waiting for you, for you, for you.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Really quickly before I get into my final thoughts, I just want to give up the tally. It's low. The tally is low from the Indiegogo page. But there was a call to action that was answered. Lorenzo Jr., an hour ago, after Ashley Smith, Lorenzo Jr. sent $25. Edwin Davis sent $25 38 minutes ago. 21 minutes ago, I think it's Marco Esther sent $10. And I'm deeply appreciative for everybody that supported the movement today. For the Indiegogo page, the holographic relationship. If you're listening to this show today, please understand that this is part of the work from the holographic relationship. This is how this book comes into being, by having these types of discussions. We're talking about healing at a distance. We're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about old wounds that get to make decisions in our lives today. Old wounds that have been elevated to the position of personal advisor, right? The old wounds that get to create your living construct, and you think you're going to have happiness at some point. Well, it's not going to happen as long as old wounds are in a position of authority in your life, a decision-making position in your life. As black people, we got to do something. Before we can expect white people to apologize to us for the dastardly evil that they've done to us, we got to learn how to apologize and forgive ourselves first. A lot of times listen, Dr. G said some shit that blew my mind a few years ago about forgiveness. Or, excuse me, in this case, unforgiveness. Dr. G said unforgiveness is the key sign that you're not worthy to be in a relationship. The one who is seeking forgiveness is worthy to be in relationship because he feels the pain, he is remorseful, he is empathetic. That is a person you want to be in relationship with. Someone who is seeking to be forgiven. Someone who is holding on to unforgiveness is acting in a space of what Veronica talked about is self-pride, ego, self-righteousness, entitlement. I don't feel, you've earned it. Let me tell you something about forgiveness. It ain't got shit to do with the other person's behavior modification. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with soul cleansing. You can't evolve unless you cleanse you. The world changes when you change. Your relationships change when you change. When you cleanse, your world gets cleansed. But a lot of people don't understand that. Black people, this is what we got to forgive ourselves for. We got to forgive ourselves for not supporting each other. We got to forgive ourselves for accepting a way of life as successful and something to be aspired to have. Right? I'm inspired to have what the white man said we supposed to have. You got to say, fuck your relationship concept, and we got to forgive ourselves for pursuing it. We got to forgive ourselves for pursuing perceived value over real value. Do you know how meaningful it is to have a frozen lady in your community? Well, you go knock on her door and give her a quarter and get a frozen. Y'all remember that?
Oh my God.
Y'all remember how important that is? Do you remember how important it was to be able to stay on cue because you know the whole neighborhood was watching you even though your mom and them was at work?
Yep.
I'm going to beat your ass, and then I'm going to send you home, and your mama going to beat your ass.
Tell your mama.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to forgive ourselves for being okay with not having a community. We got to forgive ourselves for being okay with letting our women be disrespected and degraded by everybody, including us men. We've got to forgive ourselves for all of the shit that we do to our own community and blame somebody else for. Yes. We live in a fucking white supremacist society. But knowing is half the battle, right? If we know we live in this situation, that should make unity and cooperation even more important. But it ain't. We'll sell each other out every time. Every fucking time. Malcolm X was talking to sellouts. Martin Luther King was talking to sellouts. You can't kill them niggas. Unless you got a sellout in the group. You can't get to them.
That's right.
But you got to them because you was able to get to some nigga's broke pocket. Do you understand that? So here I am. I come back to you. I say, hey, man, let's work together. Let's operate. Let's cooperate. Let's look out for Bobby. Let's look out for Kevin. Booty boxing. Let's look out for Geoff. He got Wednesday night coming up, right? He got Wednesday night at Roscoe's. Let's get 400 people down there, even though they can't see 400 people. But let's just get them down there anyway, right? We don't support the way we're supposed to support. This is what we should forgive ourselves for. We should forgive ourselves for not being able to forgive fighting each other. I keep telling y'all, black people are so far gone that we don't have space to be human with each other. To error is what? Human. To forgive is divine. We don't have enough space to be human with each other. Mama got beat. So if you get beat, you got to take on the way your mama dealt with it. And if you come from an unforgiving family, you're going to pass that generational curse on to your kids. And you're going to look at it as victimization, living your story, being victimized. Let me tell you something. Violence is a part of the human being. People don't understand that. You fucking look up the research. Humans are violent. You just learned how to use part of your fucking frontal lobe. Most of us are using the limbic system, the old reptilian brain that hijacks the frontal lobe. But if you're fucking caught in a social narrative that say men are bad, you're going to say I'm in a victim space. And then the other numbers will be marginalized on how all humans are violent, even fucking kids and elderly people. It's about getting that knowledge, understanding who you are, and developing inwardly to the outward space. But if we always got a villain to blame, we will never see the villain from within. We got to forgive ourselves for a lot of shit. Right? We got to forgive ourselves for soul food. Taking trash and making it a delicacy. We got to forgive ourselves.
Ow.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We got to forgive ourselves for gangster music. Gangster rap. Trying to live the life of Italian mafia niggas and you ain't even that organized.
Thank you.
At least the Italian mafia niggas were organized to the T.
Yep.
They don't even like your ass and you taking on their name. We got to forgive ourselves for making their brand more powerful than the brand we have yet to create. I love my people, but we got some forgiveness work to do before we can seek the forgiveness of the oppressor. I love y'all, and I ask you guys to continue to support everybody that's here. Go get your copy of The Relationship Dismount at IamZoeWilliams.com. If you want a copy today, I will mail it out today. Just go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com. Please support it, as well as Zoe Williams' new book, The Holographic Relationship, at Indiegogo. Go support the Indiegogo movement right now. Don't play any games. Bobby, where do they support you?
Shout out to J.R. Bartell in South Carolina, and to Sport and Portia in Sacramento. They changed their water, changed their life, and y'all know how to get down with me, man. And thanks, Zoe, for letting me be myself one more time.
Let me be myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you want to do some one-on-one training or boxing, hit me up at 3bbootcamp.com, or hit me at realnagas at Gmail. And I just want to say peace to Kobe Bryant. Thank you for the good 20 years that you gave us all, homie. Peace out. Have a great second part of your life.
Yeah, as a police informant.
Stop playing.
Hey, Bobby, we ain't going to forgive Kobe. Now, Jeff, Dr. G. Dr. G.
Yeah, at Mark Goulston, MarkGoulston. Also, this book's been also just nominated for a small business book of the year kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you have to nominate. So go to at Mark Goulston, and I'll send you the link so that you can nominate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Jeff Brown?
The only damn one at this table that ain't wrote his book yet. I'm working on it. Jeff's Brownies. People keep calling me about that book. I'm going to get it. I promise you. Coming up next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Memphis Will and Precious at Roscoe. Oh my God.
Yeah, there
Funny
you go.
ass show.
There you go. Listen. First law of thermodynamics clears it up for energy healing, right? Energy can never be destroyed. It can only change form. Listen, that clears up reincarnation and everything. Mm-hmm. It's here for us if we just change the way we think, all right? I love you guys all. Hey, Veronica, are you on? Veronica?
Yes.
Hey, Veronica, really quickly, where do they find you, babe? How do they support you?
Sure, VeronicaConway.com, BlackMastery.com. That's where you can find me.
Please go buy the BlackMastery.com. That is another powerful healing tool. The Black Mastery NLP program that she developed. Don't play yourself. I got love for y'all. I'll see you next week with another So What Show Heater. Bitches! Ho!
Have-nots are grabbing for a fraction of the action while the halves keep fracking. You can't blame them, no. Their design is intelligent, and I ain't talking about no heaven shit. So if you blame anybody, then blame the programmers. We just an alien ant farm on some apple. Life's grander than we can fathom. Scientists split an atom trying to get closer to atoms. See, in my code, schizo potent flow. In the grand scheme of things, though, I'm just a protozoa, a simple life form with a chip on my spine. Programmed for pipe throwing and leaving the mic torn with horror.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.